Hey, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy Tropical NHL back at it again for a brand new YouTube video. Today we're back here again to talk about the Montreal Canadiens. And today we're going to be talking about Montreal Canadian trade rumors. We're going to be taking a look at what's going on around the Habs trading community. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to give you guys my opinion. I'm going to give you guys also a couple of trade ideas that I had. And yes, we're going to address rumors. We're going to talk about who might get traded, who I think is going to get traded, where I think they are going to get traded. And it's going to be a lot of fun because it's always fun talking about trade rumors. And yes, there's still a lot of possibilities for the Montreal Canadiens to make trade happen before the start of this season because they still have too many players, too many goalies, and too many defensemen. And with the Jeff Petry trade that happened last week, it makes things even more interesting. So yes, today we're going to be talking about that. And before getting into the video, I invite you guys to subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to get the 5K subscribers before the start of the NHL season. So if you could help me out with that, that would be absolutely amazing. As well as the like button. Let's try and get 125 likes on this video. That would be absolutely awesome. So yes, sir, a lot of trade rumors have been surrounding the Montreal Canadiens over the last couple of days. I mean, Jeff Petry, William Nylander spawned at some point in the Habs trade rumors. I'm going to talk about that a bit later in the video. We saw some Casey DeSmith trade rumors. We saw some Christian Dvorak trade rumors, Joel Armia, and a lot of other players. So it makes things interesting. The Habs have 3 goalies at the moment. Let's start with that. The Habs have 3 goalies at the moment, even 4 goalies when you count Cayden Primeau, who has now a 1-week contract. If they do not keep him in the NHL and want to send him down to the AHL, he will have to go through waivers. So they might lose him for absolutely nothing. So yes, right now the Montreal Canadiens have Montembeault, Allen, Casey DeSmith, and Cayden Primeau. Yes, the Montreal Canadiens did not talk about the arrival of Casey DeSmith. They did not make any kind of post whatsoever. So it can kind of show that they might want to get rid of him. They might want to get some value out for him on the trade market and try to flip him into another team. What do I think about it? Personally, I would keep Casey DeSmith. He is a second goaltender that I really enjoy watching. He's good. For me personally, he's one of the best second goaltenders in the NHL. Really good goaltender, and I could really see him behind Samuel Montembeault. He's a veteran. He could teach him a couple of things here and there. He's a better backup for me than Jake Allen. Jake Allen has a higher value. Jake Allen could be better at doing the starter job, but Casey DeSmith as a second goaltender is more reliable and he is more consistent because I want the Montreal Canadiens to keep Montembeault as their first goaltender. He deserves it. He showed it at the World Championship that he's capable of doing it, playing under pressure. So yes, Montembeault needs to be the first goaltender for the Montreal Canadiens this year, and he needs to get 40 to 50 games and get what it's like to be a first goaltender in the National Hockey League. He deserves it. So for me, Montembeault needs to be the first goaltender. And do you keep Jake Allen as the second goaltender? Like I said, Jake Allen's the goalie that needs to play a lot of games to be consistent. And we saw it last year when he got injured. It started going downhill. Montembeault was getting into his game. He was getting more and more games. And Jake Allen, everything he was getting on the ice, he was struggling. He was inconsistent. So me personally, if I had to trade one of the goalies, it would probably be Jake Allen. Like, I'm not a big fan of Jake Allen. If you guys watch my game reviews from last season, you know it. I'm not a big fan of Jake Allen at all. So yes, I'm keeping Casey DeSmith. I'm playing him as the second goaltender behind Montembeault, and I'm trying to get the most out of Jake Allen. Personally, I think that Jake Allen has more value on the trade market because of his name than Casey DeSmith, and the Canadiens would probably be able to get a lot more. And I think that the tandem of Montembeault and DeSmith would be more efficient than a tandem composed of Montembeault and Jake Allen, because Jake Allen is not a right fit for what the Canadiens are trying to do. And for me personally, Montembeault needs to be the starter. Montembeault needs to be the first goaltender. He deserves a shot at it. And yes, I think it would be great. As for Christian Dvorak, we kind of have no infos on his injury. Like, we didn't get any updates. If he starts this season, the Canadiens are going to have too many centers. They're going to have too many forwards. So when you look at it logically, you kind of need to get rid of one of them. I don't think they're going to get rid of Jake Evans. And I don't think that you would be able to flip Sean Monahan before he plays even one game because of the uncertainties surrounding his injury situation. So, yes, I think that the Montreal Canadiens need to trade Christian Dvorak. I mean, their center line is pretty good right now. I think that Kirby Dach needs to be played at the center position. It's his natural position. And as we saw it last year, even though he struggled a bit on the faceoffs, he is more comfortable. He looks better on the ice when he's playing at the center position. So I want Kirby Dach to be at the center position. But if Christian Dvorak is there, there's no spot for Kirby Dach to be playing at the center position because you have Suzuki, Dach, you have Monahan, you have Evans, and you have Dvorak, and you can't really play Dvorak on the fourth line. I mean, he has a decent value still on the market. He's still a pretty decent player. He's not what we traded him for to be, but still, he's pretty good at the NHL level. I mean, he's capable of getting points. He's winning faceoffs. He's playing great defense as well. So, yes, he's just not a right fit for the Montreal Canadiens. So, personally, I would think that the Canadiens might take a look at trading Christian Dvorak. If he doesn't get traded before the season starts or at the start of the season, I think that he's going to be gone out of Montreal before trade deadline. It's just a question of time on when Christian Dvorak is going to get traded. Philadelphia Flyers, the Boston Bruins. There's a lot of possibilities. I feel like he would be a really, really great fit for the Boston Bruins. I mean, like you guys all know, Patrice Bergeron retired. We still have no idea on the future of David Krejci, but since Bergeron retired, I think it's most likely that David Krejci is going to retire as well. So, yes, the Boston Bruins might be interested into a player like Christian Dvorak, and I think that there's a lot of teams that could be interested into Christian Dvorak. So, yes, Montreal Canadiens, I think the best case scenario would be to trade Christian Dvorak. I don't think they're going to get much out of him. They're not going to get a first-round pick back. They gave one for him, but they're not going to get it back. Really, really unlikely. But yeah, Christian Dvorak needs to be traded, and I think that the Boston Bruins could be a really, really, really decent option for them. As for Jeff Petry just got reacquired by the Montreal Canadiens last week. If you guys didn't hear about it, I made a video talking about it. Go watch it. It's on the channel. Jeff Petry back in Montreal. Will he play even a single game for the Habs? I don't think he will. Like you guys all know, they did not make any press conference. Kent Hughes did not talk to anybody. They did not make a welcome back post on social media. So it's really, really unlikely that Jeff Petry is going to come back with the Montreal Canadiens to play. He's most likely to get flipped to another team. Like we talked about in the video where we talked about the trade, the Pittsburgh Penguins capped 25% of his cap hit. So the Montreal Canadiens only have 75% of his cap hit at the moment. They are still able of retaining 50%, so they will be able to flip Jeff Petry for only 25% of his cap hit, which makes it $2.3 million AAV, which is really, really good for a top four defenseman. Yes, Petry is not as good as he used to be. Yes, Petry's getting older, but he's still a really, really well-capable NHL player. And having him on a contender playing as a fifth or a fourth defenseman would be really, really good. So there's a lot of teams that probably are interested into Jeff Petry for a 2.3 million AAV cap hit. The Dallas Stars are an example. The Detroit Red Wings are an example. There's a lot of possibilities. We heard even the Anaheim Ducks that could be interested in Jeff Petry. There's a lot of possibilities, and it's kind of getting into a point where we have no idea on where he's going to go. I think that the most likely scenario is the Dallas Stars. I mean, they once were really interested into Jeff Petry back in 2020, just before the season got canceled by COVID. The Montreal Canadiens were kind of low in the rankings, and there were some rumors surrounding Jeff Petry and Tomas Tatar getting traded before the season got canceled by COVID. And yeah, apparently he was linked to the Dallas Stars at that moment. He got linked to the Dallas Stars also last year when the Canadiens first traded him. So yes, I think the Dallas Stars are a most likely destination for Jeff Petry. It would make sense as well for him to go to Detroit because he's from there. But yes, we heard some rumors saying to the Dallas Stars for a guy like Ryan Suter, for example. Personally, I would do it because you would be able to reflip after it. Ryan Suter for with some salary cap retained, and they could like flip him for the contract with another team, maybe a draft pick or a prospect. I think it would make a lot of sense. But yeah, there's still a lot more possibilities. Even the Oilers could be interested into getting him back. So yes, Jeff Petry is going to be a pretty fun scenario to watch over the next couple of weeks. Will he still be there at the start of training camp? I hope not, because it's going to be a bit awkward in my opinion. But yeah, Jeff Petry as of right now is still a Montreal Canadien. Another player that needs to be traded. The Montreal Canadiens finally got rid of Mike Hoffman in that trade. You guys know it. I loved Mike Hoffman so much. I was probably pissed at him more times that I was happy about him. Not because of him particularly, but just because he was getting the ice time that the young guys deserved. He was getting the ice time on the power play everywhere that the young guys deserved. He was getting the ice time of Uri Slafkovsky, and that pissed me off. So now that he's gone, we can forget about it. But there's another player on the system right now that needs to be gone, and that guy is Joel Armia. But I don't know how they're going to get rid of him because his cap hit is absolutely insane. And he doesn't produce. And I don't think there's a lot of teams that would be interested into paying Joel Armia that AAV, even if they keep 50% of it. I don't think that any teams would be interested into getting him. So I don't think it's going to happen. But I hope it does, because I'm sick of Joel Armia. Worst contract of the team. And yeah, he needs to get traded. The Rangers, I have no idea. Any team for anything. Future considerations, I do not care, but they need to flip Joel Armia out of Montreal. And as for the William Nylander rumors, I mean, we saw a couple of those over the last couple of weeks, and I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, William Nylander is struggling to find a deal with the Maple Leafs. He's going to become a UFA next season, next summer. Could the Montreal Canadiens be interested in signing him next summer or make a trade happen for another player to sign him right now? I don't think it's going to happen. First off, William Nylander, if he hits UFA, the UFA market is going to get a lot of offers from everywhere, so he's going to get a lot of options. I don't think that Montreal would be his main destination because it's just like Toronto, and when you want to make a change, you don't go for a team that's similar. Like the environment in Montreal is pretty similar to Toronto, so if you want to get a fresh start, you don't change a couple of straws for another straw. Like, you know how it is. Like, it's not gonna happen like that. And as for a trade, I think it's really unlikely that the Montreal Canadiens and the Maple Leafs make that big of a trade happen because they're rivals. They're playing in the same division, and they certainly don't want to play Nylander 4 times a year. The Toronto Maple Leafs certainly don't want to play William Nylander 4 times a year. So it's either he's going to go to the UFA market and sign to Vegas, sign to Chicago, sign to a place like that, or he's going to get traded to the Western Conference where the Maple Leafs won't have to face him 4 times a year. So yeah, that's my personal opinion on it. Let me know what you guys all think about this in the comments below. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Give me your opinion about the trades, rumors, all of that in the comments. It's been your boy, Tropical NHL. Have a nice rest of your day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.